UN designated global terrorist Hafiz Saeed's brother-in-law Abdul Rahman Makki, who is also the second in command of the terrorist organization Lashkar-e-Taiba and Jamaat-ud-Dawa, he's insulted Guru Nanak Dev. Makki used foul language against the first Sikh Guru while delivering a speech to Lashkar-e-Taiba and Jamaat-ud-Dawa terrorists in Multan in Pakistan. Now one wonders if pro-Khalistan preachers hobnobbing with Pakistani terrorists and the Pakistani deep state are watching this as Lashkar-e-Taiba terrorists insult Guru Nanak Dev. Abdul Rahman Makki is the second in command of Jamaat-ud-Dawa. He has a $2 million bounty on his head. So he was speaking to Lashkar terrorists and Jamaat-ud-Dawa cadre in Multan. He called the Sikhs infidels, non-believers. He called Guru Nanak Dev a culprit. He said Guru Nanak Dev Ji was a part of a conspiracy to malign Islam. I quickly want to cut across to India Today's Hamza Amir, who joins us from Pakistan. Foreign Affairs Editor Geeta Mohan also with me on the broadcast, as is Manjeet Sehgal, who joins us from Chandigarh. But Hamza, to you first. Take us through details of what Abdul Rahman Makki said, and is a terrorist with a $2 million bounty on his head allowed to move freely in various cities in Pakistan?
Well, Gaurav, as far as the report is concerned, I don't have a confirmation from Jamaat-ud-Dawa itself, but they have actually maintained, because I had to contact them regarding this particular speech that Abdul Rahman Makki has said. And they said that, they are not actually against the Sikhs, and this kind of a speech was not done. In fact, even if it was done, it was actually reported in a very negative way. But obviously, you remember just recently when the Sikh Yatris were here, there was a meeting that we highlighted between the Sikh Yatris, one of the faction of the Sikh Yatris of the Khalistan movement. They actually met Hafiz Saeed himself. So coming at a time when on one side, Hafiz Saeed becomes a sympathizer for Khalistan movement, going on in India. On the other hand, his brother-in-law, Abdul Rahman Makki, has to say these things on history, and they actually ridicule Guru Nanak is something that will have to be looked into very, very closely. And not to forget, Abdul Rahman Makki and Hafiz Saeed both are not allowed, to hold public gatherings, or at least they are on the Pakistan security watch list. If this kind of an incident had happened, Pakistani security and Pakistan security parameters do come under radar, and under question of how these people are still allowed to actually, spread against India.
Absolutely. For the benefit of our viewers, there is no Khalistan movement in India. Khalistanis and terrorists are living in Pakistan, funded by Pakistan. Some of them also living in countries like Canada, Germany, Italy, and the United Kingdom. And India's strongly seeking action against terrorists. But I also want to bring in for Foreign Affairs Editor Geeta Mohan for more on this. Geeta, a terrorist like Hafiz Saeed meets Khalistani terrorists and tries to foment trouble in Punjab in India, and his brother-in-law Abdul Rahman Makki, again someone who was involved in 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks, he spews venom against Guru Nanak Dev, who's worshipped here.
Well, Gaurav, the fact that firstly it's deplorable, the kind of statement that was made by Makki, but expect that from someone from the wing of Lashkar-e-Taiba and Jamaat-ud-Dawa. One cannot expect anything but the kind of venom that he spewed. On the other hand, the bigger question that you pose has to do with the fact that it should be a very cruel wake-up call for all those who are sitting in Pakistan and think they can foment trouble in Punjab of India. Gopal Singh, the man who created problems in the Punjab Sahib Gurudwara and put up those posters and was seen in a few years ago with Hafiz Saeed, should now wake up to the fact that minorities and the religion that they follow is not respected by elements who they go and hobnob with. And that certainly should be a wake-up call for those elements who are in Pakistan and foment trouble here in India.
Oh, absolutely. Unless they're only doing it for money and the cause means little else to them. I also want to bring in Manjeet Sehgal. Manjeet, there is considerable anger in Punjab ever since this information filtered in, and all those disgruntled elements who may look to Pakistan or who may look to these elements in Pakistan, the Khalistanis, they need to wake up?
Yes, Gaurav, you're right. There are two meanings of Makki's statement. One, he wants to vent his anger against the ISI and Pakistan government, which is now drafting a bill to ban Jamaat Dawa. Now, second, he wants to create a divide between the Hindus and Sikhs. Remember, most of the Sikhs live in Punjab, and we have witnessed over a dozen sacrilege cases in Punjab during the last year. All this was masterminded by the ISI.
Yes.
So Makki is not only venting his anger against the Pakistan government, but also wants to divide Sikhs and Hindus in Punjab and also the Muslims. Gaurav.
This is a very, very desperate attempt. We will continue to track the story very closely. What we're also caution our viewers about, look, there are elements in Pakistan, aided and abetted by the Pakistani state, who are out to divide our country, out to hurt our interests. On India First, we expose them so that India always stays ahead. I now want to shift focus to the other big story we're tracking on the broadcast, and that is the Congress party that's all set to move the Supreme Court, challenging the rejection of the impeachment motion against the Chief Justice of India. Now, Vice President of India and Rajya Sabha Chairman Venkaiah Naidu hit back, rubbishing the opposition's charges that the decision on the motion was taken in haste. Venkaiah Naidu said any issue in public domain concerning him requires to be resolved at the earliest to prevent the atmosphere from being vitiated further. He went on to say that Rajya Sabha Chairman's office is not a post office but a constitutional functionary. In an exclusive interview to India Today, senior jurist Fali Nariman has called the opposition's move a dangerous precedent and has asked the four dissenting Supreme Court judges to clarify their stand. He spoke exclusively to India Today's Pooja Shali. Let's listen in.
I'm joined by eminent jurist Fali Nariman. Sir, firstly, thank you so much for giving us your time. Sir, you've been recently vocal about the impeachment notice that has been rejected by the Rajya Sabha chairman, who's also, of course, the Vice President Venkaiah Naidu. What precisely are the reasons behind it, sir?
Because I'm very concerned that I don't think that there is any sufficient gravity in the charges as framed. And whatever the nitty-gritty may be, the law may be, there should have been a realization, as there is, in my view, with a very prominent statesman, the former Prime Minister of India, who had not signed it. Of course, they said that he didn't sign the request because he was former Prime Minister. That made no difference. In fact, a former Prime Minister commented on it favorably by Mr. Devi Gowda, who was former Prime Minister. So there's no such thing. If he considered that there was substance in this, he would have signed it. And the fact that he hasn't signed it, I think, should make all the public also aware that a man like him, a statesman like him, does not consider that this matter should go forward. That's my view. That's view. That's a reflective. Oh, of course.
Why
Most.
do you think that is
Of all things, yes, because he's the person who is a member of parliament, therefore he should be a signatory. The fact that he is absent as a signatory and this is just an excuse put forward is a very significant thing to my mind. And nobody has realized it up to now. Yeah,
Do you think he was not consulted? Or
Oh no, how can he be not? He's a leader, one of the leaders of the party in power at that time. At that time, now no longer, but he's one of the leaders of the opposition. He always comes in all the party meetings, even till today, so that
How do you make of it, sir? You've been in this at least 60 years, if I'm not wrong, sir. 67 years in this profession, long enough to know how many notices like this may or may not have come up.
Yes.
How do you reflect on this current controversy? What does it mean to you, sir? What does it mean for the profession that you've been associated with?
It's a very demeaning thing, unfortunately, because the charge is against not only a judge but a Chief Justice. The former charge was against a judge of the Supreme Court. Even that failed. So, and this is between the CGI, and therefore it has to be with some credibility. And to my mind, it requires a far greater standard of acceptance amongst all. And the only reason for this acceptance is because the 4 other judges have spoken out a couple of months ago.
So could this be reflective of how the 4 judges reacted, and this was a follow-up?
That's not.
That's a public image you're saying.
That's the public image, because the public, members of the public keep saying that, well, 4 judges themselves don't have any confidence in the Chief Justice. I don't agree, but anyway, therefore, if that is a public image, it's for these 4 to say somewhat, somewhere, sometime, that no, this was not to see that he's removed, but only to see that the business of the court is fixed properly. That's all. Because that seems to be the complaint, the gravamen of the complaint.
And shifting focus to the top story of the day, self-styled controversial godman Asaram has been sentenced to a life in prison for raping a minor at his ashram in 2013. Asaram, who had laughed after hearing the verdict, broke down when he heard the quantum of sentence. His lawyers now say they will challenge this verdict in the High Court.
He raped a teenager, threatened her family, betrayed the trust of all his followers. 77-year-old self-styled godman Asaram will now spend the rest of his life in jail. The historic verdict was announced in a makeshift courtroom inside the Jodhpur jail on Wednesday, where Asaram laughed immediately after hearing the verdict and chanted Ram Ram. But it only took a few hours for his smile to vanish. As the judge announced life term to Asaram, he broke down and collapsed in his chair.
Asaram apparently was in a state of depression. He collapsed in his chair. He did not expect that the scales of justice would be met, that finally he would be on the wrong side of law, and in so horribly wrong side of law.
देखिए, झटका तो वही बहुत बड़ा था जो हम पर एफआईआर हुई, वो कम बड़ा झटका नहीं था, और उस झटके के बाद मीडिया का जो ट्रायल हुआ वो कम बड़ा झटका नहीं था। उसके बाद हमारे गवाहों को मार करके हम पे आरोप लगा, वो कम बड़ा झटका नहीं था। देखिए, निराशा वाली बात तो है ही है, लेकिन जो वर्डिक्ट आया है, मैं फिर बोल रही हूँ, न्यायालय का हम पूरा सम्मान करते हुए अगला कदम हम बढ़ाएंगे और इस वर्डिक्ट को हम हाई कोर्ट में चैलेंज करेंगे।
Many of his followers, whose faith Asaram played, still cannot stomach that their guru did rape a teenager.
आप बताइए, रेप की पुष्टि नहीं हुई और रेप का मुकदमा चला दिया बाबा जी के ऊपर ही, तो कॉन्स्पिरेसी तो है ही, अब तो सामने साजिश हो गई।
राम ने क्या गलती करी थी? 14 साल बनवास भी था।
तो आपका कहना है कि ये गलत है?
गलत है, बिल्कुल गलत है। हमारी आस्था भगवान उनसे जुड़ी हुई है, हम उनको भगवान समझते हैं, भगवान की तरह।
2 co-accused in the case, Sharad Chand and Shilpi, who forced the survivor to visit Asaram's den of sleaze, have also been found guilty and given 20 years in jail each. But Asaram's close aide Shiva and his cook Prakash have been acquitted by the court.
माननीय न्यायालय ने एक ऐतिहासिक फैसला देते हुए आसाराम को जो है एक जघन्य अपराधी मानते हुए कठोर सजा दी है। वो माननीय न्यायालय ने कुछ ऐसे तथ्य लिए हैं, वो सहयोगी तो है, उसकी हम अलग से अपील करेंगे पीड़िता की तरफ।
It was 5 years ago in 2013 when Asaram raped a 15-year-old girl in his ashram in Manai village near Jodhpur. Guilty of preying on a minor. Sentenced to life in jail. Godman Asaram is now rapist Asaram. With Mausami Singh, Nishan Chaturvedi in Jodhpur, Ilma Hassan in Delhi, Mustafa Sheikh in Surat and Jumana Shah in Ahmedabad. Bureau Report, India Today.
And as soon as the verdict came out, the Congress party launched a fresh attack on Prime Minister Narendra Modi. There was a massive uproar as Congress tweeted a picture showing the Prime Minister on stage with Asaram. Then, actor Farhan Akhtar defended the Prime Minister, saying that these pictures were taken earlier when facts were not known. Others also hit back at the Congress, saying that there are several Congress leaders who were photographed with Asaram themselves. We bring you this report.
A massive political war over Asaram's verdict. Congress targeting the BJP for having links with the rapist, self-styled godman. Congress tweeted an old video of Narendra Modi, then the Chief Minister of Gujarat, sharing the stage with Asaram. Slamming the photo politics, actor-director Farhan Akhtar tweeted in defense of PM Modi, saying Modi, like numerous others, was unaware of Asaram's real face. But when it comes to past links with the tainted self-styled godman, many politicians are found to be involved.
मेरा सिर्फ इतना ही बताना है कि जो राई का पर्वत करके जो दिखाया जा रहा है कि बलात्कार केस में उनको सजा हुई, ये बात सही नहीं है.
The Congress allegedly has its own link to the controversial godman, now a convicted rapist. Social media is flooded with unverified past image of Digvijay Singh with Asaram. The then Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh was also accused of allotting prime land to Asaram's trust. Asaram's images with other politicians like Atal Bihari Vajpayee, LK Advani, Uma Bharti have also surfaced in the past. Netas often making beeline for self-styled godmen, hoping for their support in polls. But the past often catches up with many. Bureau Report, India Today.
Is trouble brewing in Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf chairman Imran Khan's home? His third wife, Bushra Manika, has reportedly moved out of the ex-cricketer's home following a domestic dispute. Why? Over his pet dogs. Now this was first reported in Times of Islamabad, and now several Pakistani newspapers are reporting that Imran Khan's pet dogs, who had earlier been expelled from his palatial house in Islamabad on Bushra's directions or instructions, are now back and she is out. Another reason being peddled is that her son from an earlier marriage had overstayed his welcome. And when the two of them got married, this was an agreement that her children from an earlier marriage will not spend much time in this house. Imran Khan, of course, had negated rumors about kicking out his pet dog Sheru, claiming that Sheru had died some years ago. Now, Imran Khan married his first wife in 1995, divorced her after 9 years. His second wife, to a TV anchor, lasted barely 10 months. Imran Khan then married his spiritual guide Bushra in February, but that also appears to be in trouble. I also want to quickly bring in my colleague Hamza Amir for more on the story. Hamza, what's cooking? What's happening in Imran Khan's house? He wanted Naya Pakistan. He seems to be getting one Nai BV after the other, and that doesn't seem to be lasting.
Well, Gaurav, you're right. You know, it seems to be a to and fro motion for Imran Khan. He actually happens to keep on marrying over and over again, but this time it's a different story with Bushra Manika. She happens to be the spiritual teacher of Imran Khan, the spiritual, healer of Imran Khan, and she's been like this for at least 4 to 5 years now. Now, there are rumors now that are circulating that not only the fact that Bushra Manika has gone back to her maternal home after an argument with Imran Khan, reasons for which are very being talked about as rumors in Pakistan. Some say it was about because of his pet, that she was not comfortable. The other was that it was an agreement that her children who would not be actually visiting her too much or would be staying for too long, they actually ended up staying for a bit longer than expected. And before Imran Khan left for London, he told them that when he comes back, they should be there. And it ended up, in something that came back on Imran Khan very bad. Now, regarding his pets, I tell you, I've been to Imran Khan's house. He had one pet inside the house. His name was Shivu, and as per their own official statement and Imran Khan's own statement, John died a few years back. While he had 8 more dogs outside of the house, I have still seen them there.
But before I quickly let you go, one quick question. Elections are just 3 months away. What happened to that big promise of Naya Pakistan? Is that now just a pipe dream? How serious is PTI, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, a contender for the top job?
Well, Gaurav, PTI actually is forming up into a very, very strong contender for the upcoming elections. There are people from People's Party, a lot of people from the ruling party of Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz that are joining Imran Khan, especially after the time when he exposed 20 of his own partymen, of taking bribes from other people, for Senate elections. So that is something that has happened, and now Imran Khan actually is forming into a very, very strong contention, and he has actually on the 29th of this month in Lahore, he is going to have a mammoth gathering, and he says that is the time when is going to be showing its strength.
So will this splitsville derail that or not remains to be seen, but Hamza Amir will track that story very closely. That is all I have time for on India First this evening. Many thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you will love to.